In this case, I'll speak and explain the reasons why Concord was a failure and a terrible game. Reason number 1, graphics. Concord had graphics that didn't look very attractive visually, resembling more something from the PlayStation 3 era. Granted, some PlayStation 3 games had great graphics, but Concord seemed to be from 2008. The issue was further compounded by the presence of animation errors on some characters, even during the reload animation, which appeared lackluster and occasionally caused ammunition to mysteriously vanish. Reason number 2, gameplay is very poor. Concord lacked variety in game modes, with only one available, the typical Team Red versus Team Blue format. Ironically, even games like Team Fortress 2, which was released in 2007, offered a wide variety of game modes despite also being a two-team shooter game. Concord, on the other hand, limits itself to being a repetitive and boring team-based shooter that loses its appeal within 20 minutes or less. Even games that are older, like the early Call of Duty titles and Medal of Honor, were more fun and engaging, despite having fewer game modes. Imagine that games from the 2000s provided more entertainment than a modern game with a significant budget. It's truly disappointing, and leaves much to be desired. Reason number 3, character designs. The character designs in Concord are some of the worst and most horrendous out there. All characters have a very intestinal aesthetic, with a majority having tube-themed decorations on their uniforms, which look terrible. Some resemble homeless individuals wearing military attire, and others look like poor cosplayers. I list a few personal picks for the worst character designs in my opinion. 5th place, Lennox. This character looks more like a humanoid lizard, with a poor design. Literally, he's a mutant reptilian armed with a pistol. He looks so ugly and just doesn't seem pleasant at all. The problem with the game's extraterrestrial designs is that they're all essentially human, with some minor alien characteristics added. There's no variety at all. If I were in charge of creating extraterrestrial designs, I would have designed something more along the lines of a Predator or Protoss from the StarCraft series. 4th place, Daviers. This character has a design that's just plain silly and embarrassing. A female soldier in what looks more like a beekeeper's suit than a futuristic military uniform. I don't understand how they could fail so badly at designing a space military outfit, especially when it's usually not that hard. Heck, even Buzz Lightyear's space suit looks way better than Daviers' pathetic getup. And let's be real, iconic characters with space military often have simple designs, sometimes even inspired by NASA uniforms. Take Master Chief from Halo. He wears something generic, yes, but it's well designed and still iconic today. Meanwhile, Daviers. Super disappointing. And those decorative tubes just make the whole thing look even worse. 3rd place, Baz. This character is supposed to be a tribute to 70s fashion, but in the end, he just looks like a comical stereotype. Honestly, his design is just plain bad. Not to mention his ridiculous hair though, it's as if two sponges stuck together. His glasses look ridiculous, lacking any charisma or toughness. And let's not forget those lines he has. His only line is "That's right," which might be the dumbest and most absurd line ever. Seriously, this guy is like a walking bad joke. Terrible clothes, terrible hair, awful glasses, and some really cringe-worthy dialogue. 2nd place, Itzy. The name was hard to pronounce, so I'll just call her Itzy. This character, like Lennox, is just another human-lizard hybrid, but somehow looks even worse. She looks like a Navi wearing homeless person's clothes. Her hyperactive personality doesn't help at all. It's clear she was made to appeal to fans of energetic characters like Harley Quinn or Jinx, but instead we got a cheap Martian cat-faced character with a terrible design and the most generic, boring personality ever. Her outfit? Just a poorly made Navi cosplayer in rags. And just like Baz, her lines are painfully cringy. Honestly, every time she speaks I get a nervous breakdown. 1st place, Off. And I'm not kidding, this character is literally called Off. He's one of the worst, hands down. A walking washing machine? Seriously, this character is the definition of cheap and stupid. There's absolutely nothing redeemable about him. Not one thing. At least Lennox had something going for him, even if it was barely noticeable or just generic, but Off? No. This guy looks horrific. A washing machine, with legs. His weapon is garbage. It shoots wind, like he's Aang or something. Couldn't they at least give him a decent gun? A pistol, a minigun, a rocket launcher, anything. But no, they gave him a glorified fan, and don't get me started on his design. It's literally just a giant washer or dryer, with legs attached. Honestly, an AI-generated image would look better, and that's saying something because AI art is usually super generic. Yet somehow, it still beats this walking appliance. In short, Off is the worst designed character in the entire game, the ultimate symbol of lazy and dumb design. In short, Concord was dead from the start. Poor graphics that look like they're from 2007, boring gameplay and characters so ugly and unlikable that they're downright embarrassing. Some might say at least the story was worth it, but nope. Concord's story is just a cheap space rebels clone of Star Wars. But way worse. Even the worst Star Wars movies are 1,000 times better than this garbage game. Heck, Rebel Moon is more entertaining than Concord. The truth is, I don't understand how they failed on every single level. There's absolutely nothing redeemable here. The only thing you could argue saves it, gameplay mode, ends up being weak too, because it's just the same old two-team shooter with zero variety. Concord will go down as one of the worst games in history. Though yeah, I've seen Dubstomp, which somehow did even worse. But that's a rant for another day. And to wrap it up, here are some shooter games I actually recommend. First, the classic Team Fortress 2. A game that's been out for over 20 years and still holds up better than Concord in every way. Yes, a 2-decade-old free game beats this expensive mess. Then there's Overwatch, which despite its flaws, at least tried to innovate with fun modes and cool heroes. Other solid picks, the classics. Call of Duty, Halo and Gears of War. These three? Actually worth your time if you wanna enjoy some real shooters. And get this, I'll even recommend Brawl Stars. Yeah, a mobile game. But believe it or not, it's more fun than Concord. Imagine that, a phone game beating a big budget title. Well, that's all for now. This was Concord, the worst online shooter ever made. Put it in the trash where it belongs. Juas. Agree.